All right, 11 o'clock right now. Queen City News is calling North Carolina's race for U.S. Senate.
And let's check it now with Queen City News political reporter Emma Withrow. She is live at Ted Budd's watch party in Winston-Salem. Emma, what is the feeling there when you heard this news? And of course, I'm sure the cheers erupted behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. The energy here is ecstatic. People are super excited. I'm here joined with Ted Budd's senior advisor, Jonathan Feltz. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here.
Talk to me about how's Ted feeling right now? Have you talked to him yet?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you with this.
How's Ted feeling right now?
Ted feels really good right now. He's upstairs working on his speech. We feel really optimistic about the outcome of this race. Waiting for folks to start to call this one. It's getting really statistically impossible for Beasley to catch up with the deficit she's facing right now, and so everyone feels really good.
Were you expecting it to be this close as we saw those early voting results start to pour in earlier tonight?
The early vote numbers came in about where we thought they were going to. We thought the night would wrap up a little bit sooner than this, but all in all, North Carolina is a very divided state, and so it's playing out about the way we anticipated. We never anticipated a 7-point victory, more like 3 or 4.
How's the speech going to go for Congressman Budd? What's he planning to say? What's he prepping? What's his goals going forward?
I would say it's going to go pretty fast. No, yeah, he's just going to say thank you to the people of North Carolina, talk a little bit why he ran and what he wants to accomplish as senator, and move forward from there.
Talk to me about this campaign in general. It was a tough primary. He had to fight tooth and nail against these pretty reputable Republicans. How is Ted feeling looking back now after this year of a marathon election season?
Look, he feels really good. I mean, he got into this in 2016 to talk about job creation. That's still what he's talking about. People are concerned about the economy. People are concerned about economic growth and concerned about the inflation. He wants to fight the inflation, get America back to work, and build opportunities like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I appreciate it. We'll keep you guys updated as the night goes on. Lots of cheers, the alcohol, and the food is flowing around here at the Marriott in Winston-Salem. We'll have a full update for you guys in the next half hour. But for now, live in Winston-Salem, Emma Withrow, Queen City News.
All right, yeah, a lot of happy campers with the Budd watch party, of course, in Winston-Salem right now.
All right, now let's bring in Will Lewis, who is live at Beasley's watch party tonight. Will, right now, give me kind of the mood. Has Sherry spoken to her constituents tonight?
Well, Alicia, I can tell you this. Right now, the crowd has not conceded. I know that we have called that race, and we've looked at those numbers, and that is an amazing call. That is a great call. But the supporters here are still optimistic, and I did ask some of Sherry Beasley's people when she would come down and address supporters, but right now they're not sure when that will happen. And I can tell you that it's been a roller coaster ride of emotions for those supporters here. When those early voting numbers came out, a lot of people were very happy, but you did hear people in the crowd say that they had that lead, and they were just hoping that she would be able to hold on to that lead. And as we go through the night, the lead just was chipped away, and then finally around about 9 o'clock, Ted Budd took the lead, and then we know where we've gotten to this point now where we have called the race. Now, of course, people who have got up at the podium and spoke to supporters say they are very happy about the campaign that Sherry Beasley ran. But right now, we're just waiting to hear from the former Chief Justice. And what we do, we'll bring that right to you. But for now, live in Raleigh, Will Lewis, Queen City News.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, it really has to be a sense of pride when you look at those numbers there. Last, as we saw with Beasley coming in, 1.7 million people there in terms of the votes compared to, I'm looking over on our screen here, 1.8 versus for Ted Budd. But, you know, a lot to be proud of there in that race.
All right, Will Lewis live for us at the Beasley watch party tonight in Raleigh. You know, all eyes on North Carolina, that Senate race tonight, and what it means for the Tar Heel state right now.
So Queen City News anchor Annie Satowski, who I was looking over to be able to look at the results of that race, is here now inside the studio to give us more of a perspective on this race. Annie?
Yeah, I was kind of standing in the way of the numbers there, but they are so close, and we knew that the whole country was going to be really keeping an eye on this race, and we knew that from a national level as well. So I spoke with our parent company, Nexstar's national news channel, News Nation, one of their correspondents there, Leland Vittert, and he was saying that this is obviously a big race to watch because it could play a big role in who, or which party, I should say, will take control of the Senate. So go ahead and listen to what he had to say ahead of tonight's election.
The Ted Budd Sherry Beasley race is important for a couple of reasons. One, that if it really becomes a close race, that tells us probably that the red wave has been way overstated, right? Even if it's close and Ted Budd pulls it out, if the red wave is what everyone says it is, certainly if it's what Republicans say it is, that shouldn't really be a race. So if it's a race that's sort of a riverbank that we go, okay, we got to sort of rethink throughout the night what we're looking at.
All right, so we're getting more and more precincts reporting as we go. 95% reporting when I just started speaking to you. Now 97% of precincts are reporting. You can see the results right there on your screen. Ted Budd with 51% of the votes. Sherry Beasley, 47% of the votes. And we knew that this race was neck and neck, at least until about the fall. And that's when Ted Budd started pulling slightly ahead in the polls here. And this right here, the results that you're seeing, really matching what we were seeing in the polls. Now, again, this hasn't been officially called, but we here at Queen City News just, doing the math and knowing what precincts are left to report, just statistically speaking, Sherry Beasley cannot take the lead over Ted Budd. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this for when that race or any concession speeches or victory speeches actually happen. I'll send it back to you guys.